are you doing today? So today, okay, I'm gonna stop talking like that. Okay, so today we're gonna talk about working in fast food. I'm gonna tell you guys my experience, and I'm gonna give you guys 10 tips on how to keep your sane and how to keep your job in fast food. Okay, so if I'm looking to the side, I wrote a couple notes down and things like that. But I have worked in fast food for about 6 months. I started April 30th and I stopped working in fast food recently, like a month ago. And I actually like fast food. I really liked working there. It was just certain things that wasn't the way they were supposed to be. It was very disorganized and things like that. So yeah. I was in fast food and I loved it. I was a cashier, but usually in fast food you go around doing every job, but you get hired for one specific thing. And I was a crew member, but they hired me for a cashier. They told me that I was going to be a cashier when I got there. So yeah, and I decided to work in fast food because I needed money, and my friends were telling me that to get into retail it was really hard. So just try to get into fast food, see how I like it, and maybe a retail will hire me. And that's where my mind was at the moment. But then after that, I actually started to like my job, and I stayed. And I stayed until I couldn't take enough anymore. And I will be doing a video on why I left fast food, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, that was pretty much why I decided. I needed money and I was tired of asking my mom for money all the time. So I decided to get a job, and it was easier to get a job in fast food. So the next thing I want to talk about is how my training was. Now, I'm not saying this about every fast food place, but I'm saying it about the specific place I was at. They did not train me well. I had to go around asking people, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you do this? How do you do that? And it was people that was supposed to be training me. And one girl, she was training me, and I'm not going to say her name, but she was training me and she acted like she had an attitude. And I was like, look, this is your job. If you didn't want to train me, you should have said, look, I don't want to train her. But she didn't say that. And then she got mad because she had to train me, and she was like making little remarks, and she started laughing when I came out the bathroom, when I had my uniform on and stuff like that. And I was like, look, I don't have time for it. I really, really don't. So yeah, my training wasn't good at all. They had people that didn't even know how to work the register train me. They had people that didn't even know what they were doing, let alone tell me how to do my job. People that was only there for 2 freaking weeks were training me. Like, why are they training me and they just got here, literally? And it was too much. It was very disorganized. Everybody tried to teach you everything, and I feel that it should be one specific person teaching me, and one person that you know is going to do a good job to teach me. You know what I mean? The environment for working in fast food is kind of fast-paced. It's kind of hectic. Sometimes you do get in arguments with people because people don't like to do their job and things like that. Yeah, pretty much. A lot of people can try to trigger you and get on your nerves and things like that, but sometimes you have to put people in their place, honestly speaking, and that's what I had to do. I had to develop tough skin. That's one thing you would have to do if you are like me and you are pretty much the only child. I do have a brother, but he's 18 years older than me, so he's about 34, 35, and he is out the house. He's always been out the house since I was about 2 to 3 years old. So actually, he's been out the house since I was 6 months. So I never had anybody in my home that I can remember with me, like a sibling. So I'm pretty much like the only child. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I've cried a lot of times in fast food because I couldn't get something, or people were messing with me, or I felt like they were trying to be funny, they were picking with me and things like that. And yes, I did tell my mom about things, because my mom is honestly someone that I go to for everything. So I did tell her, and she overreacted because she didn't like the way that they was treating me, and my mom really didn't like me working in fast food at all. that's pretty much my experience in fast food. A couple tips for working in fast food. Number one, be aware that you will be working in a fast-paced environment. Fast food means exactly what it is, fast food. So you have to, if you're at the register, you have to take orders in a timely fashion. You have to get those customers out of your line. You have to multitask and get things done and not make a mistake, which is very, very hard, and sometimes mistakes happen, but you want to make the least bit of mistakes. So be cautious, but be fast at the same time. And another thing is, also, if you feel that you're going too fast, take your time, because you don't want to go too fast and start messing up and then your drawer becomes short and things like that. You don't want that to happen to you. If you're making food, then you have to, wrap it up, let's go. You have to keep going, because what if somebody come and order 10 sandwiches? You have to get them out of the line. So you have to move at a timely pace, but you can't make the burger sloppy, because the customer will come back and that makes it more hectic there. So you want to work at a fast pace, but at the same time, take your time. Number two, some customers will be rude. I've had a lot of rude customers, but you do want to kind of keep your job. So one thing to do is smile at them, bite your tongue, smile at them, and after you give them your food, say, "You have a very nice day." Let them go on, because when you say that and when you be nice to someone after they've been really rude to you, they start to feel guilt and they start to feel bad because they wasn't nice to you, and maybe they had a bad day, maybe something is going on in their life and things like that. So you can't really blame a person for being rude. By all means, do not try to argue with them. Don't give them any attitude or anything like that. Just be cool and everything will be okay. Number three, don't get frustrated. This is a tip that I really wish somebody would have told me. Do not get frustrated in fast food, because number one, it's just fast food. Number two, when you get frustrated, you tend to mess up more. So you want to, if you get frustrated, just ask the manager, can I go take a woosah? Can I go sit down? Can I go walk around, get this off my chest? Can I take a break really quickly? I'm not really feeling too good. Let it out. You can go ahead and cry, but don't cry in front of people, but you can go ahead and cry when you get home and something like that if you get frustrated. But if you get frustrated or if you find yourself about to get frustrated, just take your time to woosah and get comfortable, because I found myself getting frustrated a lot because I wasn't getting it. But it wasn't that I wasn't getting it, it was the fact that I had to move so fast that it was getting to my head, if that makes any sense. Number four, if you do not like working in fast food in the beginning, leave. I made the mistake of staying, and I ended up expressing myself a lot more than I would like to express myself to any adult, to any person, or anything like that. Just make sure that your decision is your decision. If you don't have bills to pay, if you don't have children to look after, or anything like that, just be gone. If you don't want to work there, you don't have to work there. Look for other jobs and things like that. And that brings me to my fifth tip. Don't stop looking for jobs. Keep on looking. Keep on trying to get a new job. Try to aim for jobs that will pay you more than you get paid. And also try to get jobs in retail and things like that, because sometimes fast food isn't for everybody. So do keep looking, because at any given time your manager can cut your hours. At any given time people can provoke you. At any given time you can lose your job. They can just not put you on the schedule anymore. Anything can happen in fast food. So I would say keep looking for jobs. Don't just settle for that one job. Number six, hope for the good, prepare for the worst. Now, I say this because you want to hope that everything goes well during your day and everything goes in a smooth sail, but sometimes it don't. Sometimes the worst actually happens and you're not prepared for it. But you have to get yourself prepared for it, because you never know how you will react to something right on the spot. Always take time to think, if this happens, what am I going to do? If I get this order wrong, what am I going to do? If this customer tries to leave, what am I going to say to them to help them or to make them stay? You want to build sales. And not only do you want to build sales, you want to prepare yourself for the worst, because You could take a $300 order and they say, I don't want my food anymore because it's taking too long. But you can give them things to stall on. Like, you can have a conversation with them. You can ask them to park somewhere. You can talk to them about their interests. You can tell them that you like something on them. Stall them so they won't leave, if that makes any sense. You don't want to have an hour-long conversation because you would probably lose your job. But then again, you don't want to make them feel like they're waiting forever for their food, because if you're talking, time goes by really fast. So by the time you finish your conversation, the person that's preparing the food can be done the food, and you can just give them their food, have a nice day, and their experience is 10 times as better as if they was just waiting for their food and they was getting agitated waiting for their food. They saw people standing around. You also don't want them to see people just standing around inside your place, because you don't want them to get agitated, like he's not doing anything and my food is still not ready and it's been 30 minutes. You don't want people to act that way. You don't want people to think that way. So you do have to kind of like stall them so they won't, go to the worst case scenario. Okay, number 7, do not allow anyone to take advantage of you. This is also something that I had to learn. One time, and I work in a very disorganized facility. One time, all the managers wanted to go to the club, and they left the general manager in there, and I got to work at 4 o'clock, and when did I leave? I was supposed to leave at 10 o'clock, and I left at midnight because they wanted to go to the club. He didn't have anybody in the store. Hey Candace, can you stay? And at the time I was spending time with my cousins, so I was spending the night over their house, and it was unfair to them because they didn't get the time to spend with me because I had to work, and then I had to get up that morning and work again. And you guys, just don't let anybody take advantage of you, no matter who they are, even if they're your manager. That's why you're still looking for those other jobs, because managers can be very nasty to you, honestly speaking. Number 8, be very patient with customers as well as co-workers. Customers and co-workers is the worst part of the job. Co-workers at 80 and customers at 50. The customers aren't really that bad because once they go, they're gone. They're not coming back unless you mess their order up or anything like that. But they're gone, and you don't have to worry about them. But when co-workers constantly get on your nerve, you have to be patient with them. Maybe pull them to the side and talk to them about it and things like that, because you could only take but so much and then you blow up, and then it's this big old scenery. And I've had a lot of those in my fast food experiences, and they're not really pretty at all. Number 9, if you have a question, ask it. Ask a lot of questions. I asked a lot of questions. I did not make this mistake. I actually asked a lot of questions to get to know the place. I knew how to do everything in the job like 4 months after I was there. Actually, 3 months after I was there, I pretty much knew how to do everything in the facility, so they can pretty much place me wherever they want to put me. So yeah, kind of ask questions. How do you do this? How do you do that when you're not really doing anything at your station or wherever you're working? If it's slow at that point, you can go to somebody else. How do you do this? How do you do that? Can I help you do this? Can I do this? Can I do this and you tell me if it's right? Ask questions and take action. That's what I'm gonna say. Ask questions and take action, because you do want to be that person that if somebody calls out sick, your manager is calling you on the phone, hey, can you come in today? Because that's more money for you. Okay, so my last tip is do not trust any coworkers that have not proven that they're trustworthy. Now, I had this problem, and it was a very big reason why I left fast food, especially that place. There were a lot of backstabbers, and I noticed that there were a lot of backstabbers when I started to find out some things, and people are very, very mean. You can't trust everybody, and that was a big lesson I learned this summer. Don't trust in everybody. Don't trust anybody, even with your drawer, even with the money that you have in your cashier. Do not let nobody work on your drawer, because you don't know what they're doing. Do not let anybody see your stuff, because you don't know if they're going to give it back. Do not tell anybody anything that you wouldn't want everybody to know, because 9 times out of 10 they're going to tell everybody. So I like this saying that I learned a couple days ago actually. If more than 2 people know in a specific area, everybody knows, because one of the 2 people went and told a lot of other people, and they know that you might not know that they know, but they know. And it's sad that people are like that, but people are. So you really have to be cautious on who you confide in, who you trust, and things like that. Do not trust in everybody, because that is one of the things that could make you go insane. So I hope you guys like my tips. If you are going into fast food, good luck. If you are leaving fast food, kudos to you. If you're working in fast food, please take these tips and you should last a long time, at least longer than I did in fast food. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to expand the Bestie Squad and tell everybody. Tell your uncles, tell your sisters, tell your brothers, tell your daughters, tell your sons, tell your aunts, uncles, freaking tell your teddy bears, tell your pets. Tell everybody to tune in to Candace Gabrielle every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12 o'clock Eastern Time. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Oh, this you crazy mother.